Welcome to RCOMICS poll list for July 28th, 2021. I put out a poll list every Tuesday, and then every Saturday I put out the top 3. I'm Riggs from RCOMICS, and here's your poll list for July 28th, 2021. Up first is Amazing Fantasy number 1, written and drawn by Kari Andrew. This is going to take you back to the Red Room Black Widow, the Teenage Spider-Man, World War II Captain America, their most iconic versions of it, but they're going to be all on an island. I have a feeling that this might have like a Lost vibe to it. You know, in the solicits you're seeing on screen, it's like, are they dead? Are they dreaming? Or have they truly been transported, and can they get home? They put a lot into this push for Amazing Fantasy, so I'm really interested. They're bringing obviously back the Amazing Fantasy title that launched a lot of their big hitters, including Spider-Man, so this is going to be a very interesting run at it. I'm really hoping that this is great. Loved Kari Andrews' last project, Ecstatic. Can't wait to get my hands on this first issue. This looks like this could be an excellent little mini-series coming from Kari Andrews. Next up is Batman Reptilian by Garth, Ennis, and Liam Sharp. Gotta love this creative team. Liam Sharp is point-on artist who had a lot of work in the 90s and then went away for a while, but came back on Grant Morrison's Green Lantern. Really love his art style. He's working with Garth Ennis, one of my favorite writers on this. This is a down and gritty Batman story. He's in the streets. He's really the Dark Knight in this one. And, you know, the whole rogues gallery for Batman has just been decimated, and Batman's just trying to claw through and figure out what's going on. So this is an excellent start to the series. Again, the Batman Reptilian number 1 I really enjoyed. Can't wait to get my hands on Batman Reptilian number 2, and look for this one. Thinking this one might be in my Saturday video. Up next is Berserker number 4 with Matt Kent, Keanu Reeves, Ron Garney on art, gotta love that, and Raphael Grandpa on the covers. Great art there between Raphael Grandpa on the covers and Ron Garney on the interiors. This is a beautiful book. It is a straight up action book. If you love just action pieces and brutality, this is the type of book for you. I really enjoy it. Right now we're kind of getting to the past of what they're calling B, or our main antagonist in this, and I think this one is going to maybe kick forward the story a little bit more, maybe a little more story with the action and violence, but I'm loving it. If you like action books that are a little more on the violent side, Berserker's for you. You really got to check this out. It is a quick, fast, awesome read with really nice art. So can't say enough about Berserker. Can't wait for number 4. With that, we're on to the Department of Truth, written by James Tynion, art and cover by Martin Simmons. The rules of reality start to bend. Darla's job to hunt down so-called cryptids. So now we're into the cryptid version of it. We've done a lot of different type of conspiracy stuff with the Department of Truth. If you really like more scratchy art, this is a book for you. If you like the more interpretive scratchy art, got a little Bill Sienkiewicz going on here, and you like the conspiracy stuff, it's well written. The art is very good, but it's very stylistic. You have to really like this type of gritty style. Very, very good, but it's not always for everybody, but it's one of my personal favorites. I really do like the way the book looks. It is a very interesting book. They're doing a lot of cool things with the conspiracy side of it, and anything with a good conspiracy run for me is always a must. I would highly suggest taking a look at Department of Truth. I know this started strong, and on the sales side of things is kind of tapered off, but this is definitely a book that you want to pick up and kind of flip through if you like the conspiracy side of things, and if you just like really rough, kind of gritty art. I mean, there's some real nice things done in this book. Up next, Icon and Rocket Season 1. Writer Reginald Hudlin, artist Doug Braithwaite, and cover artist Daryl Banks. I am showing you the old school variant because I love the old school Icon and Rocket outfits. I am a fan of the old Icon. I really enjoyed that, and that was being done by Dwayne McDuffie back in the first launch of Milestone. I'm really interested to see how Reginald Hudlin is going to carry on Icon's story. I know this seems like it's going to be a bit of a reboot and a retelling of everything, which makes me kind of nervous. I kind of wanted him to build off a Dwayne McDuffie story. Go back and read that. Icon, Hardware, that whole original Milestone first launch. I mean, if you have never read Dwayne McDuffie, do yourself a favor and go back and read some of Dwayne's stuff. It is incredible, the stuff that Dwayne does with these characters, how he positions them, and where you're going with them. They stand the test of time because of how well they are done. You know, remember when you go back and read that was stuff being done in the 90s, not in the atmosphere of today, but the atmosphere of the 90s. And Dwayne McDuffie was saying things and pushing boundaries and really had a good idea on things. Like I said, I've read Static. I'm not in love with it. Prefer Dwayne McDuffie. I know that might just be because of nostalgia and me looking back on things, but I'm kind of hesitant to see where this new Milestone launch is going to be. Dwayne McDuffie was a great writer that anchored that line. I'm just hoping that the talent that they get will treat it and maybe call back a lot to what Dwayne built on, because I think you're making a mistake by basically redoing the storyline. I really think that you should have built off Dwayne's stuff. Dwayne was one of the greats, and when you have that type of material there to build off of, I don't understand why you just don't build. I mean, that's what you should do. But enough of that. I haven't read it yet, but I'm excited. I'm rooting for this. Reginald Hudlin actually wrote a very good Black Panther run that if you haven't read, I would suggest getting. If you have seen the Black Panther animated cartoon that was on BET back in the day, and I think it's on most streaming now and Disney Plus, I think you can get it in both places. Take a watch that. That's the type of writer Reginald is. That's what he does. That's kind of his big comic book work. So I am excited. I do like Reginald's work. I just have a lot of love for what Dwayne McDuffie did with these characters. Up next, Money Shot 13. Writer Tim Seeley and Sarah Beadle. Artist Carolyn Lee Lane. This is actually a very fun adult space romp. It's action, adventure, and sex all rolled into one. It is a lot of fun. The art's done tastefully in the nicest way that I can say that. It's not overly graphic where it doesn't have to be, and a lot of it is tongue-in-cheek and a lot of fun. This is a fun, quick read, an adult-only read, but it is a fun read. If you like funny situations with aliens and humans interact and inappropriate sex jokes, Money Shot is for you. It is a lot of fun. Weird at times, but a lot of fun. I wouldn't, like I said, definitely an adult read, but a lot of fun. Nothing that is too serious, so if you're looking for something light, something fun, and you don't mind the sexual themes in it, I would say take a look at Money Shot. Up next, Spawn 320. Todd McFarlane is the writer. Art is Carlo Barbieri, and cover is Bjorn Barnes. Excellent, beautiful cover, great storyline right now. I'm really enjoying Spawn. If you haven't been reading in a while and you got some time to try to catch up, I'd say go to Road to 300 all the way through today. It's even a good jumping on point right now. They're keeping things pretty loose right now because they're really trying to build towards the Spawn verse, and I'm really looking forward to King Spawn #1, which is what this issue is going to lead into. So I'm loving the Spawn stuff. I've been on and off Spawn for years now. I mean, Spawn was one of the first comic books that I actually bought myself, way too young, but I always have a soft spot in my heart for Spawn. You gotta love what Todd McFarlane does. You know, he keeps the price at $2.99. He holds that line. You always have great art. The story's always solid. It's a action-packed, solid story. I hear a lot of complaints about, what comics is missing, and usually what they say is the stuff that Spawn has in it. So if you think that they don't make good old comics anymore, pick up Spawn. It might have been a while. It might have been a long time for you, or maybe you've never read it. I'd say pick up Spawn and pick up Spawn 320 and then go into King Spawn #1, because right now they're rating it pretty wide open because they're trying to get everybody in for the Spawn universe launch. So don't be intimidated by the 320. Grab 320 and then you can go right into King Spawn #1, and you can go back and really set yourself up for the Spawn universe if you want to, or just go from here because they're not going to leave you in the woods. They're doing a really nice job. I really think Todd McFarlane's Spawnverse could be something cool and something that really has legs. Really good book right now. If you haven't read it in a while, give it a shot. If you've never read it, give it a shot. Can't speak highly enough about Spawn and Todd McFarlane, but again, been following Todd for years now. One of the reasons I'm so into comics is obviously because of Todd's art. I am of that age where the image revolution means something to me. So just so you know where I stand, here are my 7 books that I'm suggesting you guys go take a look at. Obviously, I read more than these. I read about 12 to 20 books a week. Off of that 12 to 20, I will pick out 3 for my Saturday post, and that is going to be my top 3 of the week. I try to read a wide variety of things, so something that you might not see on my poll might end up on the 3, or you might see 3 straight from my poll. I really try to pick for my poll the ones that I really think have the most juice to them and would be most worth it for somebody, not me picking up the book and reading it. There are books that I read that I like that I know that wouldn't have the mass appeal, or other people might not really jump into them, or I'm reading them and they're just okay books. They're not going to make my poll. But the books that make my poll are the ones that I really am loving, the ones that I think have a wider appeal or could potentially have a wider. Just wanted to kind of give you that at the end of this so you know what the poll is. It's 7 books. It's the 7 I think coming out this week that are worth your buck the most. Saturday, I will tell you my top 3 for the week. Like I said, there might be some on here. There might be some of my top 3 that aren't on my poll, but for the most part, they're probably going to be off my. So anyway, our comics poll for July 28th, 2021. And again, like, share, and subscribe, and see you next time.